What is up, my fellow Escape from Tarkov and Call of Duty gamers out there? Today we're going to be talking about the new DMZ mode coming to Call of Duty, and I'm seeing a lot of comments like, Tarkov killer? It has extractions. It has extractions. It's going to be just like Tarkov. And in my opinion, I don't think it's going to be anything like Tarkov, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's get it! So I'm going to just start this off by saying I am a Call of Duty gamer. I have played Call of Duty for many, many years. I enjoy the game. It's a lot of fun. And when Warzone came out, it changed everything. And we were playing that every night, all night long. I loved the game. But after a while, the cheating issue became so bad that I started getting turned off from it. I discovered Escape from Tarkov, and after playing it for about 2 weeks, I was pretty much done with Call of Duty. I uninstalled Warzone, and I had moved on. The immersion, the tension, the realness that I felt in Tarkov just far surpassed Call of Duty. It was just unreal. I remember loading into one of the games the first couple weeks I was playing, and I could feel like the tightness in my chest, and I was like, this can't be physically healthy for me to feel this tension right now. It's not. And so I got a taste of it in Warzone, where you'd be down to like the last 6 teams and your palms get sweaty, your heart's racing, just that adrenaline rush. Now, I started feeling that in Tarkov, but it was like all the time. You always felt like you were in that immediate danger of losing your life. But because of the loot system and the fact that when you die, you lose your gear, you can't just boot up into another game, that gives you that gear fear, which is actually, you know, people say to lose the gear fear, but that's what makes this game what it is. So I think having at least a little bit of gear fear is kind of a good thing. It makes you value your life in the game. You can't just boot up and go into another game. You just lost that gun that you spent 5 minutes in the preset editor trying to make meta. You know what I mean? It cost you rubles. You had to spend your money, and you had a finite amount of money to spend. Call of Duty, Apex, PUBG, games like that, you could just boot up and do game after game after game, and it doesn't matter. You don't really value your life as much because you never lose the gear you have. I'm thinking that there's going to be no real loot in this DMZ mode. In Tarkov, you gather loot, and then when you extract, you get to keep that loot. You have a stash where you put your loot. I don't see Call of Duty having a stash system, and I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm wondering what you're actually going to be looting. Is it going to be just money and guns, maybe attachments, and you can upgrade your gun as you go? But are you going to take that gun out of the raid and then be able to bring it into another raid? Let's talk about armor. There's no variety of helmets or armor in Call of Duty. You have armor plates, and that's it. So maybe you can extract with armor plates, and, you know, in your stash you have a stack of 20 armor plates, and you decide you want to bring 3 in to your next raid or something like that. Okay. But if there is no loot, if you don't have a stash and there's nothing like that, and you could just boot up and go into raid after raid and not worry about losing your gear, that takes away the gear fear aspect of the game. And it immediately drops that like anxiety and adrenaline factor by quite a bit. Also, the gunsmith in Call of Duty is not even close to the amount of customization that you can do in Escape from Tarkov. So I don't feel like it's as rewarding. It's cool in Call of Duty. You get to a certain level, you've unlocked a bunch of attachments, and you could just make your meta guns whenever you want. In Tarkov, you need to find those items or pay for the items if you want to make that gun again. And there are so many more ways that you can edit and manipulate these guns. It feels like to me, from just what I've seen so far, that this might be like plunder with extra steps. I mean, instead of just a timer running out, you're going to have to actually take that money to an extraction point. We don't know yet, so I don't want to speculate a whole lot about exactly how the gameplay is going to work. I just can't see it comparing to Tarkov unless you're actually taking your gear out of the raid. If I don't make it to extraction, what does it matter? If I get a bunch of kills in Tarkov and I don't make it to extraction, I still lose all of my stuff. And that's why the constant fear of losing your life in the game is what gives it that tension factor and keeps the adrenaline high. So I wouldn't say that I'm like crapping on Call of Duty. No, I'm going to play DMZ mode, and We're going to check it out. There's just no way that it's going to be even close. So maybe they're going to have like contracts on the map, you know, like they have in Warzone and Plunder for scavenger hunt or bounty, stuff like that. And what looks to maybe be a hostage retrieval kind of situation. I don't know if that's in DMZ or not, but we saw that in the trailer. And that's cool. Maybe you take the hostage to extract. Well, that would not be like Tarkov at all, would it? And now, before you go leaving comments, which you absolutely should, and you should hit the subscribe button if you like the content here, but I just want to say I do understand it's like an apples to oranges kind of deal. I am optimistic that this is going to be a fun game mode in Call of Duty, and I hope I enjoy it, and I'm going to play the shit out of it. But I am pessimistic about people that say it's like a Tarkov killer, or it's even Tarkov-esque. I need to see more about it to know exactly how that could even be. Because to me, without that full immersion, without the gear fear, all of that stuff, it's just not even close. It's just Call of Duty in a different mode. It has extractions though. So yeah, if you guys like the content, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. And I hope we'll see you around again. Leave a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see you next time. You can find my links to my Twitch in the description below if you feel like coming by and chatting. I'm doing community nights twice a week, Fridays and Sundays. So swing by. Let's talk about Call of Duty. Let's talk about Tarkov. All right. Bye, dudes.